Hello and welcome to Odds on Ligue Match Day 17, first match day in 2026. And we left Lens as a surprising leader. Alain, on top of the table, 37 points. What a season, what a streak for Lens.
Yes, and the team deserves to stay there. It's curious. October, November, and December, Lens lose only one game against Metz, and yes, that one means Lens like leader. Marseille had possibilities to stay there. They lose point away. They lose some games, some points when they played at home, when they had the opportunity to take the leadership. But right now, Marseille is 5 points down to Lens, is fighting Lens against Paris Saint-Germain for the title.
Same as Lille, they were able to come back against Auxerre, 3-1 down, 3-4, with 4 red cards in that game, one of the most exciting ones at the end of 2025. So let's analyze everything, of course, the crisis of Monaco, of Nice here. So guys, thank you for being with us. Of course, don't forget to leave me your comments, press the like, subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. And the first game in 2026 in Ligue 1, Alain, is on Friday, Toulouse. Lens, we were talking about the good numbers of these Lens. They ended up 2025 beating Nice 2-0, beating Nantes away. So it's 6 consecutive wins. It's 9 wins in the last 10 games, as you said, only losing to Metz. So the numbers are really good, but warning, because also Toulouse are good. They beat Paris FC 3-0. They drew with 𝐬𝐵, and it's only 1 defeat in the last 7 games.
Yes. Toulouse finished really well the year, especially in the last game in Paris was one of the best game in the content for Toulouse, and that one means Toulouse recover his passion, and it was a difficult job for Novell. Since the beginning of the season, we saw some wave, a team with good game and really bad game, but right now they finish well. They wait the leader, because Lens already is the leader, is the team to beat right now in Ligue 1. If we analyze the game, Lens, when they play away, is amazing. The capacity to score more than 1 goal in most of the game they played. But in spite of that, I think Toulouse will be catch point against Lens. For that reason, I choose Toulouse double chance 1x with over 1.5 goals, odds 2.00.
Okay, starting the year with a surprise, in your opinion. And one of the best games is Monaco. Lyon, Monaco 9 points away from the Champions League spots. Lost the derby with 𝐬𝐵 doing much better in the Champions League, because in Ligue 1 is 5 defeats in the last 6 league games, only beating PSG. And Lyon, Alain, beat Le Havre, but they have a problem away. It's winless in the last 5 away games. For Lyon, finishing the season in the 5th spot, still with options, of course, to play Europe again next season.
Yes, both teams. I think Monaco is not over to play in Europe, but there must to change something. The last 5 games in Ligue 1, only 3 points for Monaco, and I think I'm really surprised about the average of goal received in the last 10 games. 5 games. Sorry, 10 goals is a lot. 2 goals per game. We can consider there was not a game so difficult, and the strange thing is their win against Paris Saint-Germain, the only winning in the last 5 games in Ligue 1 is against Paris Saint-Germain. And in this game, they don't receive goals. And what happened with this team is difficult to predict Monaco right now. Now, Lyon away, you said they suffer a lot because the last victory away in Ligue 1 was in Lille at the end of September. Lyon is doing really well the things in Europa League because it's the leader in Europa League, but in Ligue 1 there must to change that average of point away, because that one can cost the European spot for Lyon. For this game is difficult to predict. I choose one of the X of this journey, Monaco Olympique Lyonnais X 3.15.
All right, and then we have Nice, Strasbourg, two teams in bad form, but of course really bad form for Nice. Alain, 10 consecutive defeats in all competitions. The last win was the 29th of October. Then all defeats. Now they are 5 points from the bottom 3, and Strasbourg also falling in the table. They drew with Lorient in the last game of 2025, but it's only 1 point in the last 4 Ligue 1 games.
Yes, both teams are in crisis. One, Nice is a biggest crisis, probably the worst crisis since Ineos arrived in Nice. How many solutions have the club to change the things with the manager? Yes, you can and then play that credit, but the team still have some limit. We saw the problem is the attitude in this team. It's difficult to trust in this team, because when do you lose 5 games? Maybe you said, okay, it can be some accident, but 10 games is an average to go to the second division. And right now is not so far, because only 5 points to Auxerre, who marked the line of the relegation, and 5 points in 4 games. I think Auxerre or Nantes or Metz can recover that distance. Nice must or need to have a reaction, and Strasbourg too need a reaction, because the last game against the Lorient in Ligue 1 is a game where Strasbourg is dominant, is create a lot of occasion, but finish really bad. And when we saw Strasbourg in Conference League is the leader in Conference League. Yes, the level is not the level Strasbourg playing in Ligue 1, because most of the team don't have the level for the Ligue 1. But what happened there with the property, with the fans? We saw some tension because the fans of Strasbourg don't want to be the second club of Chelsea. They want to be independent, and that one, in my opinion, can affect a little the team. Now, Strasbourg need to have a reaction, because Strasbourg, most part of the time, was a Champions League team in the first part of the Ligue 1. Right now, that they lose that, they must to recover quickly that. And in my opinion, Strasbourg will catch point in Nice. Double chance, X2 over 1.5 goals, odds 1.83.
All right, let's go to the next game. We have Lille, Rennes, a really good game. This one is the opposite. Both teams left 2025 in good form. Lille in Champions League spots, 5 points away from Rennes. It was a great win for LOSC in Auxerre, as I mentioned at the beginning, 3-4. They were losing 3-1, crazy game, 4 red cards. So it's 4 consecutive wins in Ligue 1 for them. And also Alain Rennes won the derby against Rennes and is against Brest, and is 5 wins in the last 6 Ligue 1 games. So 2 teams in form.
2 teams in form. 2 teams have a lot of things in common. Already president in Lille was the president in Rennes. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 is former Rennes manager. Yes, a lot of common point. They share the same ambition, because Rennes want to go back to the European spot, and Lille maybe had something more right now about his project in terms of quality, in terms of experience. But in spite of that, Rennes in the last 2 months, they lose only in Paris. Mm-hmm. And it's brilliant. 𝗵𝗲𝗍 is doing a brilliant job, because before the beginning of November, I remember everybody said 𝗵𝗲 must to fire. The board fired 𝗵𝗲, and the day after they changed the opinion and said, okay, we give you the last chance. And he take the last chance, he start that positive streak, and right now Rennes can be dream to go back to Europe. Now, and Lille is a good test. Lille is a solid team at home. The last 5 games they won. Both game in both competition against different type of team, against Olympique de Marseille. We saw against team really strong in defensive phase like 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐺, have to be patient and won the game. A really good show against Dinamo Zagreb, against PFC, with a lot of goals scored. Right now, Lille give me more skills and more quality respect to Rennes, and more experience. For that reason, I choose Lille winning with over 1.5 goals, odds 2.20.
Okay, really good game, this one. Let's go to the games we have on Sunday. Started at the Velodrome. Nantes, third in the standings. They bounce back, winning the derby against Monaco in the last game in 2025. Also won in the Champions League, where they are okay, actually, in Belgium. And Nantes, 3 consecutive defeats, penultimate in the standings, warning for a historical team like Nantes.
Yes, Nantes is every season they play with fire. They play with fire, and in the last 3 seasons, they flirt with the relegation. They was lucky to save the category. Maybe this season can be the season sent not in Ligue 2. When do you work bad, the consequence arrive. You can have 1, 2, 3 seasons with chance, but the 4th season you go down. And Nantes, in my opinion, the process is this one. If now in January, if they do a massive market to improve the team, without that, not will fight until the end of the season against relegation. Marseille, the only limit this season of Olympique de Marseille is away, because when do you watch the team at home, only Lens do more points. When do you analyze Marseille away, in 8 games, only 12 points, and then there is the limit. The last season was the opposite, but this season, I don't know what happened when they played away, but they lose so many points when they played far of Stade Velodrome. Marseille really favorite for this team. Marseille at home have most part of the goals scoring at home in Velodrome are in the second half, and I choose over 1.5 goals in the second half for Olympique de Marseille, odds 2.20.
Next game is Brest-Auxerre. Auxerre, third from bottom, 3 points away from Le Havre. Lost that crazy game against Lille, but beat Metz in the last home game. Brest in the middle of the table after the defeat in the derby against Rennes. But before that, Alain, they ended up in a good level, actually,
we must to understand a little. It's one of the most difficult games to predict because at the end, Brest, yes, lose in Rennes, but Brest in the last 4 games we saw again the Brest we know in the last season when they played in Champions League and when they surprised most part of Europe with his result, with his direct play, and against Rennes have more quality in my opinion, and was more accurate in both area. Now Auxerre against Lille scores 3 goals. They scored 3 goals against Metz. Most part, half of the goals scored since the beginning of the season. What happened? What 𝗲𝗖𝐻 has changed to give the solution to the team to quit his problem with the goal? It's difficult to understand what happened. In my opinion, is after the losing in Angers, something changed in the mind in Auxerre. We saw an improvement, 4 games, only 1 game lose against Lille, and it was a totally crazy game because if the game finish with a draw was normal for everybody. And yes, they have that unluck against Lille, and right now traveling in Brest to try to catch points, but I think Brest have something more in collective, individual, in his strengthness too, and for that reason I choose Brest winning odds 1.95.
Next one, Le Havre and 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐺 mid-table doing a great season and ended the year on a high as well. 4 wins in the last 5 games, beating Nantes. In the last one, Le Havre fighting against relegation, 3 points now above the bottom 3 and 4 games without scoring a goal. Usually really low scoring games with Le Havre.
With Angers too. In my opinion, the team in the group of the team are fighting against relegation is the best team in defensive phase, and the number are for them because they're the best defense of the team of 8 team are fighting against relegation. Angers and Le Havre received less goal. Angers is best than Le Havre and score a little more. I think they have more experience, and the attack is have more powder respect to Le Havre. Le Havre at home is difficult to play against Le Havre at home. We saw since the beginning of the season Le Havre lose only against Lille and Lens at home, and except that game they catch every time's point. And Angers away is difficult to move to, except in Strasbourg when they lose really bad. Is a team don't receive a lot of goals. They catch a draw in Vélodrome, winning in Toulouse, in Lille, make suffer Lille at home, and lose only with 1 goal difference. Yes, with defensive team like that, normally I choose a draw, and in that case I choose the draw. Le Havre Angers X odds 3.20.
Lorient Metz is our next game. Metz bottom of the table, only 1 point away from Auxerre. This close to get a positive result against PSG, but is 4 defeats in a row. Lorient doing all right, actually. No defeats in the last 5 games. Draw with Strasbourg, beating Lyon or Nice. So really positive end of 2025 indeed.
Yes, and they're fine, especially balanced when they're played away, because the problem was away. At home, Lorient catch really good results, and if you check the table when they're played at home is in the 9th position. In change away, is the second worst team in Ligue 1 when they played away. But they changed that with the last two results you mentioned, Edu. Now, at home, in my opinion, is really favorite. Lorient, Metz had that streak with for the three victory consecutive permits to the team to go back to the group who is fighting against relegation. Right now, I think the distance in terms of point are not so difficult, but in the content, when do you go again with a negative row of defeat, 4-game defeat consecutive is not a good news, and the signs are bad because, especially in defense, the team suffer a lot. And playing in Lorient, who when they played at home, he's a team have the skills to score in every game, is not the best news. For that reason, it's a really delicate game. I don't choose 1x2. I choose the goal market over 2.75 goals, odds 1.95.
And the last game in this first match day of 2026 is a derby in Paris, PSG, Paris EFC. You will tell me, Alain, if there is some rivalry between these two teams or not really. PSG finished the year beating Metz, struggling against Athletic in Champions League, and also Paris is struggling. They are only 4 points away now from the bottom three. Tell me some curiosity, some history between these two teams, or there is none.
But it is the first official play, is the official game between both teams. And yes, we are curious, no, to have finally a derby in Paris, because Paris with Berlin are the only capital in Europe without derby. And yes, it's a good news for Paris. It's probably the nearest derby, because both stadiums are at 500 meter distance. And it's probably like Independiente, Racing, it's like Everton and Liverpool with the nearest of the stadium. Yes, in Paris, that we had maybe not a lot of people remember, but the last derby in Paris was Paris Saint-Germain Matra Racing in the end of 80, beginning of the 90. And yes, a derby in Paris is back. The good news is Paris FC have ambition, because you have a Red Bull group, the like owner, and they want to grow with this team. PFC don't finish really well 2025, only 2 points in the last 5 games. Problem with the goal. When at the beginning of the season the team scored a lot of goals. Remember, it was over 2.5 goals classical, or both teams to score. But in the last 2 months, a lot of things change with the ball, and there must to find a solution, because is the philosophy of the football of PFC is score 1 goal more and not received 1 goal less. And now against Paris Saint-Germain, we know PSG is always playing, and in some games the team are not totally in the game and concede. And for that reason, I choose PSG winning with both teams to score, odds 2.60.
Well, this is it for our match day 17. Remember, guys, to check always our tipster competitions going on, and you can win some cash money also for 2026. And we have rivals always also available for you, so you can create your own tipster league and play with your friends. Alain, let's go with your safe bet.
Olympique Marseille, Nantes. Olympique Marseille winning odds 1.25.
And the ACCA?
Lorient Metz over 2.75 goals, and Brest Auxerre Brest winning total 3.80.
Okay, Alain, thank you. And hopefully we have a lot of success and a lot of videos in this new year. Bye-bye.
Ciao.